Hey everyone, and welcome to Top Think. Today we're going to learn about how to wake up at 4 a.m. feeling amazing. Now, let's begin. Number 1. A morning present. If you're struggling to wake up early, this technique can turn your mornings around. The trick is to give yourself a present right after you step out of bed. In other words, you should reward yourself for waking up early because, let's face it, it's a hard thing to do. Not everyone has the self-discipline or self-control to put their productivity first. So, each time you get up at 4 a.m., start your morning with your number 1 favorite part of your routine. Maybe it's sipping on a nice hot cup of coffee. Or maybe it's making a healthy breakfast and enjoying the peace and quiet while you eat. Whatever it is, use that piece of your morning routine to reward your hard work. Not only will you find it easier to get out of bed in the mornings, your entire routine will feel more enjoyable. When you start your morning with something you love, you feel encouraged to keep that good momentum going. Number 2. Slide your cycle. The hardest part about getting up early in the morning isn't actually waking up. Sure, it's tough to physically drag your tired body out of bed. You glance out the window and you notice that the sun isn't even up yet. In that moment, every fiber of your being is telling you to go back to sleep. Yeah, it's difficult to resist that tempting offer, but that's not the most challenging thing about waking up at 4 a.m. The hardest part is learning how to start your day without feeling totally exhausted. Most people use the same simple strategy to get themselves up so early in the morning. They set a whole bunch of alarms. They set one for 4 o'clock, another for 4:10, a third for 4:20, and so on. And that way, if their first alarm doesn't get them out of bed, the rest will annoy their brain into waking up. Now, while this usually does the trick, it only solves the first problem. You'll still feel fatigued and lethargic when you wake up instead of feeling rested and happy. Because chances are you're not actually getting enough sleep. And when you don't get enough sleep, it doesn't matter what time you wake up, you're always going to suffer the consequences. In fact, a study from 2019 found that losing as little as 16 minutes of sleep has a huge effect on your mental state. If you're not getting enough sleep on a regular basis, it will negatively impact your mood and your cognitive performance. In other words, if you're forcing yourself to wake up 15 minutes earlier than your body wants to, you'll feel slower, foggier, and lazier. Why? Well, because your sleep cycle wasn't finished yet. If you fell asleep at midnight, for example, your brain thinks the next 8 hours are reserved for recovery and prep. But suddenly, your alarm stops your brain in its tracks. It interrupts the recovery process halfway through, which means your brain will take longer to catch up, think clearly, and be productive. So, how do you get up earlier and make sure your brain finishes recovering from the day before? The answer is a technique I like to call sliding your cycle. Let's say your normal sleep schedule is midnight to 8 a.m., but you want to make a change. You want to start getting up earlier. You want more time for all the productive, motivating pieces of a solid morning routine. Should you just set your alarm for 4 a.m. and jump right in? No, you'll feel exhausted and unwilling to try getting up early again. Instead, try sliding your cycle. Every night, move your sleep cycle back 15 minutes. Tonight, for example, go to bed at 11:45 and then wake up at 7:45 in the morning. Tomorrow, slide your schedule back another 15 minutes, and then another, until eventually you're getting up at 4 a.m. without interrupting your sleep cycle. Oh, and the real beauty of sliding your cycle is that it gives your brain plenty of time to adjust. In fact, by the end of your slide, waking up early may feel more like a habit than a chore. Those small increments are the perfect amount of change for your brain to adequately handle each night. So, it reacts a whole lot better than being dropped into the deep end. If you want to wake up before the sunrise feeling on top of the world, sliding your schedule may be the answer you're looking for. So spend a few weeks slowly moving back your cycle. You'll be waking up at 4 a.m. feeling amazing in no time. Number 3. Nightly prep work. What's the very first thing you usually think about when you wake up? After that fuzzy dream slips out of your memory, your brain drifts back to the thoughts and feelings you had before you fell asleep. If you were worried, happy, or inspired, you'll feel those emotions again. They'll stick around through the night and even affect the quality of your sleep. Your nighttime and morning routines may be 8 hours apart, but for your conscious mind, they're right next to each other. That's why it's so important to have a strong and positive nighttime routine. You should spend that hour before bed doing things that improve your mood, things that inspire you to be a better or more productive person. For some, that means setting exciting new goals. Thinking positively about the future creates motivation and builds momentum for the next day. For others, it's working on their hobbies or listening to music. These activities balance your state of mind and relax your nerves. Each of these nighttime habits relieves stress, deepens your sleep, and helps you wake up feeling as positive as possible. Oh, and not to mention that burst of positivity will propel you into a happier and more productive day. Number 4. Sleep as a tool. For many people, sleep is an escape. It's a rare chance to get away from work, responsibilities, and expectations. It's an opportunity to rest and relax without worrying about work or stressing about life. And in some ways, that's a good thing. You should be using your 8 hours to recharge. But if you want to improve your mornings, don't look at sleep as an escape from your daily life. Instead, use sleep as an essential part of your work schedule. It's like eating breakfast or going to the gym. You don't do these things just to avoid doing work. You do them to give you energy and keep you healthy. They're necessary pieces of your productive lifestyle, and sleep is no different. Getting your 8 hours is a tool you use every night to rejuvenate your brain. By changing your approach to sleep, you'll not only sleep better and deeper, you'll wake up with a different state of mind. You'll get up feeling ready to go, ready to tackle the day. Now that you've gotten your 8 hours, you can check that off your list, which means your brain is prepped and ready to perform at its best. Number 5. A gentle alarm. Do you use an alarm to get yourself out of bed? If you do, what kind of sound do you play? Many people go for those grating radars and ear-splitting buzzers. You might think you need those blaring noises to wake you up in the morning, to force yourself out of bed. You tell yourself that you can't wake up without them. But you know what? You can. The problem is, you've been waking up to radars and buzzers for so long that your mind is trained to respond to those sounds. It hears that buzzer and immediately thinks, it's time to wake up. But you can do the same thing with a softer, more relaxing sound. In fact, you can condition your brain to wake up to almost anything. So why start your morning by jump scaring yourself out of bed? When you startle yourself awake, you're actually hurting your entire morning. Even if you get the right amount of sleep, scaring yourself awake with a blaring alarm leaves you feeling frazzled and on edge. So replace those radars and buzzers with a gentle guitar, or maybe a soothing piano. You might even use a relaxing song that you already know and love. Waking up should be as easy and relaxing as falling asleep. So don't let your alarm ruin your morning. Number 6. Setting your tone. Don't force yourself out of bed right when you wake up. Sit up, stay comfortable, and take a few honest moments to reflect. In those moments, think about all the things you're grateful for. Think about all the opportunities you've had and everything that you've accomplished. When you feel happy with the past, then reorient your thoughts toward the future. Imagine what you want to accomplish. Picture where you're headed. Remind yourself that you have control over where you're going. And finally, imagine the rest of your day going exactly the way you want it to. And when you're done, open your eyes, step out of bed, and make it happen. These quiet moments of reflection and gratitude can help you wake up feeling amazing because they set the tone for your entire morning. Every morning starts to feel important, special, and powerful, and you'll feel inspired to be all you can be. We're most receptive to this kind of reflection right after we wake up. so don't wait an extra second. Reflect on your past, envision your future, and let them both motivate you moving forward. Hey, thank you for watching Top Think, and be sure to subscribe because more incredible content is on the way.